Hello everyone, we are Valeria and Yanina. In this video essay, made for Language 4 at IFS San Luis, it will be discussed the following agenda. A brief introduction, the rationale behind the title, one of the most significant themes along with a relevant symbol, and finally, a conclusion aimed to reflect upon an anthropological concern.
British author Julian Barnes, also known by his pen name Dan Kavanagh, released his novel The Sense of an Ending in 2011. Since it is a book belonging to the postmodern period, it is plagued with elements and characteristics proper from this type of literature, such as fragmentation, time shifting, reconstruction of the facts, a non-reliable narrator's point of view, etc.
The book's title alludes to an idea proposed by British literary critic Frank Kermode in a 1967 study regarding the theory of fiction. Kermode describes in his writings how fiction injects logical narratives and organized frameworks into what otherwise would seem chaotic. His theory that humans are wary of and overwhelmed by their fleeting existence gives rise to another analysis. Our lives cannot make meaning or have a cohesive beginning, middle, and ending without a coherent pattern. From this perspective, in Barnes' novel, everyone creates well-crafted stories about their lives and selves to try to cope with its instinctive fear, not only writers.
In this way, time, one of the book's most important themes, is examined through a subjective assessment. Barnes addresses time closely intertwined with memory and its malleability in various contexts through the narrator. At the beginning of the book, Tony claims that he cannot comprehend time even though it holds us and molds us. According to an investigation led by the Department of Psychology at the New York University, Tony's attitude emerges from the concept that we all have an individual relationship with time, and therefore our memories are not veridical records of the past. Rather, they reflect discrete units of subjective experience influenced by our minds and emotions. From the very beginning, the author acknowledges,
We live in time. It holds us and molds us. But I've never felt I understood it very well. And I'm not referring to theories about how it bends and doubles back, or may exist elsewhere in parallel versions. No, I mean ordinary, everyday time, which clocks and watches assure us passes regularly. Tick-tock, click-clock. Is there anything more plausible than a second hand? And yet, it takes only the smallest pleasure or pain to teach us time's malleability. Some emotions speed it up, others slow it down. Occasionally, it seems to go missing until the eventual point when it really does go missing, never to return.
following the same train of thought, a paradox that divides time measured by clocks and time shaped by individual experiences, that's objective and subjective time, appears.
One of the symbols present in the novel that represents a strong connection with this idea is that Tony and his friends wear watches somehow different than everyone else's, with their watches' faces on the inside of their wrists. Hence, it seems that by doing so, they were perceiving time as a personal and secret understanding that would only be known by them.
The time deniers say 40 is nothing, at 50 you are in your prime, 60 is the new 40, and so on. I know this much, that there is objective time, but also subjective time, the kind you wear on the inside of your wrist, next to where the pulse lies. And this personal time, which is the true time, is measured in your relationship to memory. So, when these strange things happened, when these memories suddenly came upon me, it was as if, for that moment, time had been placed in reverse, as if, for that moment, the river ran upstream.
Throughout the novel, certain experiences are altered based on the fluctuation of Tony's memories from the past. His maturity, gained by aging, and the impact of emotions contribute to these changes in his version of the story. In this scenario, time and memory are combined, and as Tony digs into the past, he comes up with a different perspective that prompts the creation of new memories. As the story unravels, this helps him in his self-realization. That is, the process of gaining knowledge or understanding of one's abilities, character, and feelings. A truly existential quest for all people. In this sense, Tony says,
I reread this letter several times. I could scarcely deny its authorship or its ugliness. All I could plead was that I had been its author then, but was not its author now. Indeed, I didn't recognize that part of myself from which the letter came. But perhaps this was simply further self-deception.
with regard to this, Barnes unquestionably proves that memory is made up of memories from experiences as well as a small amount of imagination or fantasy.
The reconstruction from the historian point of view, in which some facts are objective while others are subjective recollections, are examples of this insight. It can be seen how truth and fiction can combine to form a subjective experience, and as time passes, the line between them becomes blurry. In the first part of the novel, he declares,
When I wrote to Adrian, I wasn't at all clear myself what I meant by damage, and most of a lifetime later, I am only slightly clearer.
and later, deeper in the narration, he reflects as follows.
I searched for any moment, incident, or remark which might have seemed worthy of acknowledgement or reward. But my memory has increasingly become a mechanism which reiterates apparently truthful data with little variation.
As a conclusion, the talented Julian Barnes creates a unique piece of postmodern literature. The novel leads the readers through the memories of a retired man, his puzzlement in relation to time, and his subjective point of view regarding the past. The author also manages to deal with interesting and complex topics for humankind, which are time, memory, and time plasticity.
Some of the novel's elements, such as the non-linear history in Tony's mind, the evolution of his recollection, and the reconstruction of the events, give shape to a skillfully constructed book awarded the Man Booker Prize in 2011. Finally, it makes us reflect about the veracity of our own stories. Are they as we remember them? Or somehow humans embellish their stories, whether to make them sound better or to be able to make life more bearable?
Thank you very much for your attention. We hope you enjoy it. We are looking forward to your feedback.